Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the point with Omar and Ibadat. And with me, as always, is my brother Omar. How are you, brother?
I'm good. What are you?
Alhamdulillah, man. Alhamdulillah. So, as you all already know, we're here today continuing our social media discussion slash series slash topic. And I think we're going to wind it up with this one, which is going to focus on Instagram. We've already covered TikTok and Facebook. And let's see where we go with Instagram today.
Right.
You want to start on
You
this?
want to start or I'm going to start?
Yeah, fair enough.
Sure, I
Any-
will start.
Either of us. Okay, go ahead.
Sure, I will start. Well, let's talk about Instagram. If I'm not wrong, it was one of those platform जो photographer के लिए जो है starting में थे. And I'm gonna be honest, it is one of the best photo sharing platform I have ever come across. So it was launched in 2010, right, in October.
Yep.
So it stayed as Instagram. उसके बाद जो है फिर Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, like always, उन्होंने टेक ओवर कर दिया just after 2 years. Now उसके बाद जो है फिर उसमें changes आते रहे. They added stories, they added later on IGTV, and now they have come up with new reels. So it is ever evolving. Even IGTV में देखो, it was only for 1 minute before. उसके बाद उन्होंने जो है उसके रिमोट जो लिमिट थी वो उन्होंने हटा दी है. But I still believe that IGTV, they try to compete with the sort of YouTube. Like,
Yeah,
the uploading is it's terrible. I mean, I have tried uploading few videos and I was like, nahi, हमसे ना हो पाएगा. So really, if you talk about like uploading, I would say कि नहीं, YouTube is a way to go if you want to add your videos like which are more than 3 minutes. But with
also, I
passage
think
of
it
time,
might be a good idea to mention that these evolutions that you're talking about were sort of natural evolutions in the Instagram platform in response to other more popular, or not more popular per se, but other up and coming social media platforms. Like the whole Reels thing
of
was
course.
sort of in response to
Exactly.
Snapchat and TikTok. And IGTV,
Exactly,
like you
like
said, it's sort of a YouTube-ish response.
exactly. Like IGTV, like I said, IGTV was competing YouTube. Similarly, these stories, Snapchat जो है उस time पे the story sessions है, because Snapchat was all about like stories. तो उसको उन्होंने compete करने के लिए वो stories डाल दी, and they dive. Twitter भी बाद में आ गया. Facebook was also later on in this stories thing. उसके बाद फिर stories में भी उन्होंने काफ़ी उनमें innovation लाते रहे. Like you can add link, that swipe up. If you can recall, जो swipe up वाला option होता था वो बाद में उन्होंने
Yeah,
डाला.
yeah, yeah.
But
I remember now.
yes, now swipe up के अलावा जो है अब यहाँ पे वहाँ पे वो link का एक button है. All you have to do is just press it. Recently, Cody Warner, YouTuber, he was checking out कि क्या हर एक के पास वो हुआ नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि जो स्वाइप अप का ऑप्शन है वो होता है 10,000 फॉलोअर के बाद, मोर आफ्टर यू हिट योर 10,000 मार्क ऑफ फॉलोअर्स. सैडली उससे पहले नहीं होता था. बट विद दिस लिंक, some of them are saying that it is available. They have around 1,000 followers and they have it. I haven't
Okay.
come across that, but my followers are low as well. I don't know why.
Well, let's
That's how
inshallah
it
someday
goes.
reach 1,000 followers and test the theory for ourselves.
Inshallah. So it attracted a lot of photographers, mainly photographers, I would say. And that time it wasn't like उस वक्त जो था ना, इतना ये DSLR इतना इन नहीं था, फेमस नहीं था. फेमस एज इन हर एक जो है उसके पास ये नहीं था कि DSLR से उठाया, थोड़ा सा पोस्ट प्रोसेसिंग की है, उसके बाद जो है हमने आईफोन किया, उसकी से भी तस्वीर डाल दी. नाउ इफ़ यू सी देयर आर टन्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स on Instagram and they are amazing. Literally some of their work they are just amazing. तो उसके बाद जो है फिर लोगों ने, अच्छा अब मसला कहाँ पे हुआ है, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि टू मच ऑफ अ गुड थिंग इज़ बैड, ठीक है, तो मसला हुआ वहाँ पे बिकॉज celebs they want to be everywhere, ठीक है, of course they have a lot of followers and followings, so they can take advantage of that, and that's what they did. They came on Instagram, ठीक है, they got that blue tick everyone talk about, ठीक है, validation वाला. तो उसके बाद they started posting their pictures which everyone knows they are photoshopped. Similarly, एक और प्रॉब्लम आई कि brands they started entering Instagram. Why? Because later on Instagram started the ad, the promotions, ठीक है, तो वहाँ पे जो है brands ने आना शुरू कर दिया, और all these Botox and this fillers, surgery, nose job and all those sort of things एकदम से बढ़
I
गए.
think the main, you can say, the whole cultural paradigm that was established for Instagram was, I think, it was still deeply rooted in the whole photography beginnings that Instagram had. Although
Exactly.
as an arguable point, yes, it was photoshopped and etc etc. The content that was mainly on there was edited, photoshopped slash yani made to look more beautiful than in reality. But that was the thing, it was the whole photographers slash community based thing, where you would have really ultra high resolution and very beautiful, unrealistic looking photos of food or of places or of people, and it was something like a showcase for photographers to showcase their work rather than anything else.
If I'm not wrong, food porn, it started from Instagram as well, if I'm not wrong.
I think you're right about that. So basically, now that you mentioned that this evolved into celebrities and brands and everyone coming in on to Instagram and using it as a platform for their own social media slash awareness slash whatever their purposes are. The thing was that they stayed within this paradigm of ultra fake, let's call it fake, because that's exactly what it is. Fake photos and the whole mentality that went along with it, that like celebrities waking up in the mornings and showing a completely engineered, I mean, there's no other way around it. It's completely engineered to show a picture of perfection, like all the sheets are clean and properly laid out, all the bedding and the pillows and everything is it's completely neat, and the tagline or the caption underneath the photo in the post content goes like, if only every morning was like this, or some other idiotic and completely inane
Hashtag wake up, hashtag woke up like this,
hashtag natural, hashtag the thing is that it's fake and people know it's fake, but they just go with it. They're going with it because that's what they've accepted it to be. And the more you try and get into the mindset or the crowd that populates Instagram in order to get your likes, in order to get your recognition on the platform, you end up doing or buying into this culture of fakeness, to be honest. And
exactly, like you and I, we have worked as a photographer, okay? We know that every picture is edited. There is hardly well, I think there is no picture which isn't edited in some way or form. Brightness, exposure या contrast कुछ ना कुछ हर तस्वीर के साथ करना पड़ता
No,
है.
those are minor
So
edits. Let's just say those are
exactly.
sort of enhancing the picture to bring
Exactly.
out its
No, I
actual
mean, I'm
color
just
or
making a
whatever.
point that every picture is edited. Now, when you talk about the beauty pictures या आप celebs की
Glamour
pictures की
shots,
बात कर
let's
रहे
say.
हैं या किसी makeup glamour shot exactly. Now, those are engineered and photoshopped so well that they will want you to be like them. ठीक है, that will encourage कि भाई this is my target, this is where I want to be. Now that's जैसे कि मैंने कहा too much of good thing is no bad. ठीक है, it was bombarded, Instagram was bombarded with a lot of posts such as that. ठीक है, because those kind of pictures, they would get a lot of likes. You know what I mean? So it was easy to capture the audience, to capture more market per se. So now the problem arise जो problem जो हुई है, these teenage young people, they felt left out. क्यों? क्योंकि they need validation. ठीक है, everyone needs validation. You need validation, I need validation at work.
True,
in
true.
every corner.
But
तो
younger people
उन्होंने
more
कहा
so
कि
than others.
validation कैसे मिले. एग्जैक्टली ना, उन्होंने कहा कि हम लोगों ने उन्होंने जो है उसको करने के लिए जो है अकाउंट बनाया. अब अकाउंट बनाएंगे, ऑब्वियसली इफ़ यू आर कंपेयरिंग योर सेल्फ विद अ सेलिब्रिटी, यू वॉन्ट गेट दैट मच likes because they have followers from different places. Maybe they have done a short serial film, they have done a commercial, or they have done a theater or something like that. तो उनके followers जो
Or
हैं वो
yani
ज़्यादा होंगे.
it's completely engineered for promotional purposes. Let's just say a particular post has an entire team of people working behind it, decorators, artists, and whatnot, stylists and everything, and then they just take one single photo for the purposes of promotional value, whether it be for a project that celebrity is working on, or just for the celebrity themselves.
राइट, एग्जैक्टली दैट्स व्हाट हैपेंड. तो अब उस वैलिडेशन के लिए जब उन्होंने तस्वीरें डाली हैं, दे आर नॉट गेटिंग दैट मच लाइक्स, दे लाइक ओ समथिंग इज रॉन्ग. देन दे गो बैक टू दोज पिक्चर्स दे दैट वर डूइंग राइट एंड दे वर हैवीली फोटोशॉप्ड. ठीक है, लाइक बहुत ज़्यादा 200%, 300%. नाउ व्हेन यू डू दैट, you're gonna fall into this pit of insecurities. ठीक है, कि you're gonna have hunger for likes, you're gonna have hunger for followers, hunger for validation. When it all came together, that's where the anxiety या stress कह लो या mental issues कह लो, it arises. यानी कि एग्जैक्टली ये इंस्टाग्राम का यहाँ से जो है फिर ये मसले मसाइल शुरू हुए, जो कि अभी भी चल रहे हैं, एंड दे विल कीप ऑन गोइंग ऑन. दैट इज़ वेयर इट ऑल स्टार्टेड. दिस इज़ वेयर इट ऑल स्टार्टेड. यंग पीपल दे थॉट दैट इंस्टाग्राम पे अगर आपकी वैलिडेशन नहीं है, आपका ब्लू टिक नहीं है, जब तक यू आर नॉट समथिंग. और उस चीज़ के लिए they did different things. या तो उन्होंने सर्जरीज करवाए, या तो they took wrong path. ठीक है, but the thing is कि it really affected them. Like let's say that someone is doing for those likes, they take a picture which is against their moral values. Right? In the heat of the moment, you might neglect it, the moral values. And you take a picture and you post it. Suddenly you get a lot of 1,000 likes, 10,000 likes. You're like, wow, it's doing good. And you do that more. The more you do, the more you want.
And then that's the sad part, right? That's the way human nature works. The more immorality there is, it's applauded, it's encouraged.
So that's what happened. उसकी वजह से अब ठीक है, कुछ टाइम तो उन्होंने गुजार लिया उस तरह, दे लाइक्ड द अटेंशन, बट यू नो ह्यूमन, दे कैन नेवर लाई टू देमसेल्फ. इंसान कभी अपने आप से झूठ नहीं बोल सकता, एंड इवेंचुअली दे विल थिंक दैट व्हाट वी आर डूइंग, यू नो, ज़मीर बंदे का मरता नहीं है कभी, तो सो जाता है थोड़ी देर के लिए, स्नूज बटन दबा के, मरता नहीं है. तो जब ज़मीर जागता है ना, यू आर लाइक शिट, आई एम डूइंग दिस रॉन्ग. ठीक है, नाउ हाउ डू आई अनडू दिस? नाउ दैट्स अ वेरी ट्रिकी पार्ट, क्योंकि नाउ यू आर यूज टू दिस, अ लॉट ऑफ लाइक्स, दोस अटेंशन. ठीक है, अटेंशन में डालते हैं सबकी, हर चीज़ आ जाएगी. अब उस अटेंशन से आप हटेंगे कैसे? बिकॉज वंस यू आर आउट ऑफ दिस लाइम स्पॉट, ठीक है, लाइमलाइट, सॉरी, टू एक्साइटेड. तो वंस यू आर आउट ऑफ दैट लाइमलाइट, ठीक है, इट कैन अफेक्ट यू रियली बैडली, बिकॉज मोस्टली ऐसे लोगों के इन रियल में काफ़ी कम ही लोग होते हैं, और अगर रियल में होते भी हैं ना, वो सिर्फ इसलिए होते हैं क्योंकि उनके लाइक्स होते हैं, उनके फॉलोअर्स होते हैं, दे आर लाइक दीज आर योर पीपल, लेट्स हम इनके साथ जाते हैं. लेकिन जब आपकी पॉपुलैरिटी कम हो जाएगी, तो दोज रियल पीपल विल स्टार्ट, यू नो, गेटिंग अवे फ्रॉम यू एज वेल. एंड आई थिंक दैट्स रियली इज़ अ सैड पार्ट. We have seen recently there is a lot of rise in mental issues. I'm not saying that it wasn't there before, but especially in teenagers, in young population, it is getting more and more. And I believe Instagram, well, social media as whole, but like as we are talking about Instagram, I think Instagram is one of the main reason for that. What do you think? How do you agree with
I
that?
do completely agree with everything you said. And to build upon all of that, as far as Instagram is concerned, you'll notice when we talked about the whole photoshopped thing being a sort of a motif for Instagram in itself. So that gives rise to a whole other culture or a mindset of fakeness, or developing fakeness, lies, deceit, presenting a picture that is not really real, and you know, arranging your entire lifestyle according to that. That, I believe, is the more insidious and more dangerous aspect of this particular form of social media. Because sure, I mean, people do the same thing on Facebook and everything as well, but it's not so how we say, on other social media platforms, it's not enforced by way of culture, let's say, the way it's done on Instagram.
You're right.
Because
You're right. You're absolutely right.
the entire atmosphere, the entire mechanism, the way the algorithm works, the way people consume content on Instagram, because they'll just keep scrolling, and they're taking in content very rapidly, similar to TikTok, and in small bites and pieces. So you're forced to push out more content on an even more regular basis, and that content needs to meet up to the standards that are in line with the fakeness and the unreality that Instagram presents. So couple all of that with your younger generations insecurities, their anxieties, their depression, their all of that, I mean, that just snowballs in on itself. And mental health issues are starting to become even more apparent now with the generation Z, let's call them, but with the up and coming generations, whether it be Z or anyone. So I mean, this is not healthy in the longer run. In the longer run, and on a generational level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're actually right. यानी कि अगर मैं अपने सोसाइटी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं कि साउथ एशियन सोसाइटी, यहाँ के बात करते हैं जैसे पाकिस्तानी या इंडियन कम्युनिटी के बारे में, अब उनके मसले मसाइल क्या होते हैं कि वहाँ पे इंस्टाग्राम पे फॉर एग्जांपल कोई शादी की कोई क्लिप दिखता है, या कोई पोस्ट दिखता है कि किसी ने ऐसी शादी की है और उसकी जो है ऐसी अमेजिंग किस्म की लेविश उसका सेटअप है, right? Now, the problem is कि they try to say कि हम भी उस चीज़ का हिस्सा बने. They want to be part of that. They want to bring that imagination into reality.
Let's
You know what I'm saying?
let's shift that a little bit and call it not want to be. Sorry, what was that exact term that you used? Want to be a part of it? Want to?
Want to be part of it. Want to be a part of it.
No, it's
They
not like
want to make
no,
reality.
it's not like they want to be a part of it. They want it. You know what I mean? They also want
Yeah.
what that lavish wedding or that lavish, because that's how the mindset is developed. Because you see something like that on Instagram, and brides and grooms and the youngsters who are about to step into that phase of their life, they go like, I want that. You know, their response is not
Yeah.
that I want to be a part of that wedding or I want to be a part of that photographer or that event. No, I want that.
Exactly. And the funny part is that, if you're a self-made man, okay, it is a lot difficult to be at that certain point in life. Okay, like when I talk about myself and yourself, I know where we started from. Okay, Alhamdulillah, the things we have now, we couldn't imagine that time.
Yes,
ठीक
absolutely.
है द टाइम वी गॉट मैरिड. नाउ अगर कोई कहता कि नहीं भाई हमें तो मतलब वैसा फोटोग्राफर चाहिए, हमें तो वैसा ये चाहिए, हमें तो वैसा चाहिए, वी कुडंट हैव गिव देम. ठीक है,
हमें हॉर्स ड्रॉन कैरेज चाहिए और 4 सफ़ेद घोड़े होने चाहिए और हम जो हैं ऊपर से एक प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर खड़े हुए होंगे और वो जो है लोअर डाउन किया जाएगा विद फेक विंग्स ऑन इट. ओह गॉड, आई मीन
So
there's a
so
lot that's
you're
wrong with
absolutely
this
right.
with this particular aspect.
Exactly.
There's a lot that is wrong.
There is a lot wrong. But coming back to the point कि जब वो चीज़ नहीं होती ना, तो यू डेवलप दिस कि यार इसके पास तो कुछ नहीं है. It's not how I imagined.
It actually
मैंने तो
fuels
imagine ऐसे
3
किया.
major things. It fuels envy, it fuels greed, and it fuels एहसास कमतरी. ठीक है, यानी your self esteem takes a hit, your enviousness grows because you can't have what they have, and rather than focusing on what you already have, you sit there and start comparing कि भाई what is it that they are having and we are not, and going down that spiral, which is completely unhealthy in all respects, whether you're talking religiously or otherwise. But it's unproductive. It's very unproductive, but
Yeah,
it's promoted through this kind of interaction.
exactly.
These 3 things
And the
are
part of
really
is-
insidious. I mean, if you apply that, sorry, I'm cutting you off at the moment because I just
No,
wanted
no,
to
good,
expand on the fact that this, taken on an entire generational level or on a societal level, it develops a lot of bad characteristics, bad mindsets, bad unhealthy relationships, let's call it, in general. I mean, it promotes this actively promotes this kind of thing, rather than passively doing something to it or influencing it or anything. No, this is an actual any direct factor, you can say, that would increase this kind of behavior or this kind of mindset in the hearts and minds of people. And when you're taking this on a generational level, you can eventually expect that to turn into a societal issue, because right now the generation of today will become the society of tomorrow. I mean, it sounds very cliched, but
exactly.
it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. And the funny part is that people think this life or what they are doing is exactly how these celebs are doing, like 24/7. You understand?
That is
Like,
also a very
what they're
dangerous thing.
exactly, like they are showing a part of it, कि मतलब आपको एक सिर्फ तस्वीर दिखा रहे हैं 24 घंटे में से, एक तस्वीर आपको दिखा रहे हैं. You don't know the rest of the story. You don't know the effort, the engineering have gone behind. कि पीछे आपके पर्दा ऐसे होगा, पीछे लाइटिंग ऐसे होगी. लाइक इफ़ यू टॉकिंग अबाउट लाइक एग्जांपल, कोई अगर ये वीडियो देख रहा है एंड ही सेज के इबाद के वीडियो कैमरे की या मेरी वीडियो कैमरे की लाइटिंग बहुत अच्छी है. इट टुक अस अराउंड 20 मिनट्स कि हमने कैमरा सेटअप किया, लाइट सेटअप किया है, माइक्रोफोन सेटअप किया है, सिंक किया है, पीछे लाइट जलाई है, यू नो. सो इट देयर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट गोज बिहाइंड which we are not which we are not able to see clearly, you know.
I agree.
एंड सिमिलरली कि आप कहते हैं कि यार इनकी तो मतलब हैप्पी लाइफ है और हमें कोई मुश्किल नहीं होगी, मतलब हमारी ऐसी कोई ज़िंदगी नहीं है, इनकी हैप्पी लाइफ है, इनके पास कोई मुश्किल मसाइल नहीं है, हमें तो ऐसे मुश्किल मसाइल आए जा रहे हैं. ये तो अच्छे मुस्कराते हुए पोस्ट कर रहे हैं, तो ये तो इनकी लाइफ बहुत अच्छी है. बट what they are showing is the fraction of their life. Maybe they have more problems. Why do you see there is a lot of suicide rates, ठीक है, in celebs? I mean, if you think like that कि आपको जो यार कि अब celebs के पास पैसे भी हैं, they have amazing life, everybody wants to be like them, and they have a lot of validation as well. So just imagine what kind of validation they are looking for that they commit suicide, that it doesn't get fulfilled. Just imagine that.
On the other hand, while we're on the topic of celebrities, let's take a moment to mention the aspect of where, like all forms of social media do somehow, is where they make stupid people famous. So you have celebrities that are in Instagram parlance called influencers, who are popular, who are hit, who are really in with the upper echelons of society, as it were, and they somehow amass.
सीधे कह रहे हो पार्टी हो रही है.
Well, let's just say that she did it for her own personal Instagram, and then it took off in the way it did, that turned her into a celebrity. Now, I'm glad that you mentioned that, by the way, because the way she turned into a celebrity was typical of the influencer crowd that is populating the Instagram scene nowadays, because they realize that they have a fair amount of influence, temporary albeit, but वही Andy Warhol की जो prophecy है कि everyone in their life will have 15 minutes of fame. So they want to capitalize on that as much as possible, whether it be through doing even more stupid things that apparently add in or tie into their popularity and give them a further boost and gain them more traction on social media, which in itself is horrible. I mean, as a general rule, lowering the IQ of the nation is not exactly something to indulge in, and yet the nation actually does indulge in it, unfortunately, and there are people who support that indulgence, who provide content, provide excuses for the nation to indulge in lowering the IQ as a whole. So that is very disappointing. Let's call it that. It's very disappointing to see, because influencers in general have an inflated opinion of self-worth somehow, by virtue of their following or whatever, and it then brings out the worst in them. Like, for example, there are influencers who contact resorts or small hotels in rural, not rural per se, but in picturesque areas where
small cities,
exactly, like where you would go for vacation and you'd have a great scenery and stuff like that. But it's obviously not a big hotel chain that you'd go to. But these influencers actually have the gall to demand that they be given free room and board and food and everything in return for a mention on their stories. And then when they are confronted with the stupidity and the utter arrogance of their requests, they explode on social media and use that as a platform to bash the small business owner. And well, of course, I mean, given the way the story turns, in most cases, it's the small business owner that wins out because they get to display how insipid or how arrogant these influencers actually are. And although it has it
Exactly.
makes
Like, see,
no difference to the
I,
influencers
I
following.
I call it as a internet bagging
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
funny
Internet
way,
bragging, absolutely.
which isn't not see, but see, it is not bad if it is done properly. Like, see, if you have a proper moral values and if you are going by the steps, you take the permission, and if they say no, that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
If they
Game
said
over.
no, you
You move
take
on.
that no and you move on. You say, okay, yes, sir, I respect your
Exactly.
decision. I just tried, just like you would negotiate for a discount or something at any shopkeeper.
Exactly.
They have a different commodity
And
to
sometimes
barter with.
exactly. And see, if you really want to be an influencer, I would say that suggest or share some information that will help others. I remember Irfan Janejo, ठीक है, he was one of those who went to Turkey, and he showed me some app. He showed like story पे उसने app डाली थी कि that app really help him to capture the यानी कि रास्ता और ट्रेन पकड़ने में जो है वो काफ़ी हेल्प करता है. And it helped me a lot. Like, I was thankful to that story. I mean, if you want to really do something like that. That will be
And see,
helpful for
that was
others.
gratis. That was not, it didn't have any strings attached to it. It was just tossed out from what I
Exactly,
can
it was free.
understand from it.
Exactly, it was not promoted. Exactly, it was not promoted. It's simple. It's free. ठीक है?
That's a
Like,
very
if
good
somebody
use of
asked me,
an influencer's influence. I mean, not to overdo
exactly,
a cliche, but it's a very good and very how should I phrase this? Constructive. Let's call it constructive. It's a very constructive example of how an influencer can actually use their power for good, like for actually promoting or benefiting society as a whole rather than detracting from it, and like I said, lowering the collective IQ of everyone who is connected to you, which happens to be a lot of people. So I wish there were a lot more influencers like that, to be honest.
there is another thing I want to add over here. Like, that पार्टी हो रही है, ठीक है. अब एक चीज़ ऐसी बनी है, अब उस स्टुपिडिटी को जो है वो फेमस तो हो गई है, ठीक है. नाउ उस स्टुपिडिटी को फॉलो करते हुए कि यार क्योंकि ये फेमस होगी, हम और स्टुपिडिटी करते हैं कि ये हमारी जिम है, ये हमारे डब्बल है और यहाँ पे पार्टी हो रही है. हम कहें कि ये हमारा कैमरा है, ये हमें पॉडकास्ट बन रहा है. लाइक,
Yeah.
सीरियसली देयर इज नो नीड फॉर दैट. वंस किसी ने कर दिया एंड दैट्स इट, गेट ओवर विद इट,
Just move on, just forget about it. But
just move on.
unfortunately,
Exactly.
that doesn't happen.
But the thing is, exactly, it doesn't happen. And this is the case with social media and social media as a whole. Everybody follows the lead to um,
Like sheep.
valley of stupidity. Like sheep. So like sheep, they
It's
lead to
disappointing
the valley
behavior,
of
to be Rani,
stupidity.
frank, because
It is.
at the end of the day, what exactly are you getting out of it? Sure, I mean, I'm not against humor and satire of any form. Let's be clear about it that this has got nothing to do with the comedic value of the posts that are being produced in response to this. This is more to do with the obsession that our society as a whole has with bashing each other or bashing people in general. Like it's a very favorite pastime of our people, unfortunately. be it in the
Yeah.
form of say on the news channels or otherwise, or even at school. I mean, it starts from a young age, or from school, or I don't know. I mean, let's just call it starts from a young age. This whole
It
atmosphere,
does,
or
like exactly, and I think it's a human behavior, which we really find it in like children. ठीक है, if कोई बच्चा जो है उठा के बॉल फेंकेगा या उसको देखेगा, दे से कि बच्चे जो हैं वो गलत बातें ज़्यादा सीखते हैं, ठीक है. सो ह्यूमन नेचर इज़ लाइक के दे विल बी मोर अट्रैक्टेड टू द लेट्स से कि गलत काम, ठीक है. बट when you are mature, when you are adult, and
you grow out of
I
it.
would say that if you're above, exactly, if you're, I would say that if you're above 14 or 15, you're adult now, because now I think everybody is maturing at so young age that I think at 14 or 15 everybody is so mature that they can even, most of the time they take their own decisions. And if one can't be mature enough at that age, I think that there is something seriously wrong with that person. you know
Yeah, I totally agree with that concept, because see, maturity is let's, for argument's sake, let's call it that it's a relative measure, you can say, a relative um, concept that can
benchmark,
right.
benchmark कर लो.
Right. It's a relative benchmark. I mean, it varies from age to age, person to person, background to background. So, as a general rule, say a person in their early 20s should technically be able to tell what is right, what is wrong, what is pointless, and what is not. On a general level, I'm not saying they should be very, oh my god, like I have my whole life sorted out and all that. No, you're just out of your teens, you're figuring life out and stuff. But on a basic level, you need to be aware of what is good and bad, what is helpful and what is unhelpful, what is pointless and what is meaningful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But sad reality is that we are in a era where everybody just follows what is famous. Jo trending, it is trending. If
It is
some
trending
stupidities
and it's
on
on social media and everyone is talking about it. So I will look stupid if I don't talk about it. Sure, that's a general phenomenon. I'm not going to disagree with the nature of the actual event itself, but it's more of the outcome of that, which turns into point scoring and laughing at the other person at their expense. That is something of a national pastime, and it needs to
exactly.
it needs to go. It needs to go away. It needs to stop with.
I remember, like you when you said that past stuff. So I remember there was a post कि someone goes for the interview, ठीक है, and वो अच्छी खासी एज पे था, and he goes in the lift, and the bottom part of the lift opens, wide opens, and he goes down the pipe, he slips down, उसके ऊपर पूरा slime लगता है, and then he get smacked into the wall of fur या feather, you call it. It's pathetic. And people commenting on those, liking those videos, how कितना नीचे करना है, कितना नीचे गिर सकते हैं. I think that is more concerning, that कि कितना नीचे गिरना है.
I think
कितना
to be
नीचे गिर
honest,
सकते हैं.
that comes more from not having anything useful to do. Like the old saying goes, the empty hands are the devil's workshop. Or if you don't have anything to keep you busy, if you don't have something productive to keep your mind occupied, this is basically what it turns into. This is basically where it turns towards, rather. Because the mind wants stimulation of some sort, and the way Instagram and TikTok, because I'm going to liken both of these together because of the way their content is fed to the average user. It's in the form of tiny, you can say, granules of dopamine, like the feel good drug that your brain produces. I mean, it's
Of
literally
course.
like a drug. It's addictive. And it comes really fast. Like you keep scrolling, you keep scrolling, you keep
Exactly.
scrolling. Whether it's your own posts or whether it's about things that you like, you immediately get a hit from it, and then you want more. You want more. If you're running your
Exactly.
own content or your own channel or your own Instagram handle, then every like, every post that is shared, your post that is shared, and all of that, all of these notifications, they start
It
being
matters to you.
the dopamine hit that you're going to look for. So
Exactly.
in order to get that,
And I
you're
think that's very natural. Exactly. Like yeah, I remember that sometimes even when I post, and if there is a post that is not doing well, I might think that this post is gonna do well and people gonna like that pictures, but
turns out it didn't do as
on
well.
the other hand, exactly. तो आपको थोड़ा सा फील होता है, but that's the that's the sad part of it. I remember there was a video by Prince EA, ठीक है, and the title was very sensitive, ठीक है, dear girls, you're ugly, ठीक है, which sounds very bad, and which is technically it should sound bad if somebody astaghfirullah is saying that, ठीक है.
Yeah, but depends on the
Girls,
context.
please, exactly, girls, हम लोग आपको कुछ नहीं कह रहे. We're just discussing something, but exactly, I mean, in that video, he defines कि these women, these girls, they are forced into this. They are self-conscious about them. They have insecurities because he used the term Instagram. Like when you get a hit, so you get instant verification, right? And he talks about like why they call it a feed, because you are like sheeps, okay, waiting in line and you are being fed. So that's why they call it a feed, so if I will definitely share the link to that video in the description. Do check it out. But that's what I'm saying, that we are sucked in this क्या कहेंगे, फिट कहेंगे, या in this situation. I think it is very difficult for anyone, like even sometime for us, to get out of it. It takes a lot of effort to get out of it.
Absolutely.
Because it's now everywhere. It is everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even Twitter. ठीक है. There used to be a time when Twitter wasn't very much like
Well, it depends actually.
कि
If you
लोग
talk
इतना
about Twitter over here per se, and in the US, Twitter is more popular than Facebook, for example.
yeah,
But I think it
exactly.
varies from region to region and society's usage of it. So, but yeah,
And the things I have seen, the post I have seen, like because I've followed few people in my region, like in Southeast Asia, okay, Pakistan, India. So there was a term by used Irfan Jain, जो कि Instagram is a dark place, and really, well, like some of the posts you see, and they're really dark. It's really a dark place, and most of the time there is no censorship as well in Instagram and on Twitter, unlike Instagram. So it really is a dark place. It gives you that anxiety, that sadness feeling,
depression and
feeling of being
loneliness.
overwhelmed. Exactly.
I mean, it's
Exactly,
it's not healthy, and not to mention the
It
fact
is not
that
healthy.
it's called a social media platform, but there is very comparatively, at least if you take Instagram in comparison to Facebook or to YouTube, for example, the social interaction aspect of it is extremely limited. You know what I mean? Because all of
Yes,
that
exactly.
happens in a sort of a one-way direction. Like you come across a post, and then you scroll past it. You come across another post, so on and so forth. You're consuming more than you're interacting. So it's the content
Exactly.
creators are the ones that are talking to you, that are pushing your mindset into those channels where feelings of inadequacy and comparisons and all of the whatnot that we just discussed, all of that starts to burgeon. So that's not entirely the case with media platforms like Facebook and YouTube, because Facebook, for example, with all its cons, it has a very strong community element to it. Like if
Yeah.
you heard the podcast we did on Facebook earlier, we discussed how there are huge groups of people with common interests on Facebook,
Yeah.
and it provides a very easy, reachable, accessible platform for people with like-minded interests to gather and exchange ideas very rapidly, whether it be a new idea or an
Exactly.
already off discussed idea. I mean, it's very
Exactly.
very much grouped together or organized in a way that helps people to engender the community element even further. But Instagram does not have that.
Exactly.
YouTube in itself is really
Instagram
amazing.
doesn't have that. Yeah. Instagram really doesn't have that.
Because when you're talking about
We're gonna
the
see.
community building aspect of it, sorry, I just wanted to clarify this one point as well. You have high emotional support when you're talking about community building. You have emotional support as well, whether it be through suicide groups or uh, anything. It could be anything. It could be as simple as a hobby group that's discussing exactly what, I mean, everyone else is interested in, and looking for help with what you're having trouble with, and so on. So that in itself provides a very strong base for emotional support. That is something that you don't normally get with Instagram. So that's a little scary. I mean, from Instagram's perspective, that it's one-sided, even though it's touted as being a social media platform.
Exactly. And that's exactly where a lot of people uh, will fail to capture, because on Instagram what you're gonna see is someone with six packs or four packs, or you're gonna see some woman in summer body, okay, but you do not know the effort that has put
Gone
into
into that,
that, ठीक
exactly.
है. हाँ, exactly. मतलब आपने इतना वर्कआउट किया and trust me, getting slim is not easy.
It's
It's
not a
not everybody's
joke.
cup
It's
of
not a
tea.
joke. It's a long,
It's not a
tough,
joke.
grueling
It's
journey full of pain and suffering.
exactly.
And it's
Like I would say that, there were times, like, in some workouts I have even cried. Funny as it sounds, but like, when you think about like where you are in health wise perspective, and where do you want to be, and how much mess you have done to yourself, you actually cry.
that's very demotivational. I mean, if you're talking about that aspect of it, that's basically what you can say is the main demotivating drive. Because when you start out on a workout routine, you realize how unfit you are and how your body is just not responding in the way that you want it to, or it's not withstanding the amount of abuse you're putting it through, and the pain that's resulting
Yeah,
from it, it's unbearable. It's unbearable. And that's usually
it
where
is.
most people give up, because it's
That's
difficult,
exactly
it's
where
hard.
people give up.
It really is. We're not, I mean, we're not discounting the effort that goes into this the fitness journey per se, but it's always the beginning that no one talks about. It's if you relate that to Instagram, you have the end result or you have the end product. Even if it's a before and
Exactly.
after picture, like sure, you're putting in 6 months of effort, and you have a before picture where you're like totally fat and completely out of shape, and then 6 months later you're really fit and doing really well. So that still does not represent the pain, blood, sweat, and tears that went into those 6 months. It's just on the surface. It's literally on the surface. And
You're right. You're right.
Again, it's the way the platform's engineered. You don't get to show the journey unless you have someone interested in invested in you. Like you have followers who want to know what it is that you're doing, so you create videos of yourself pumping iron and running like a madman through the streets or on a treadmill, and they follow you through those processes. So that requires investment. That still does not represent, like in say a YouTube video where you can condense all of the 6 months worth of effort into an actual practical and believable, relatable video of a say 5-minute video where you could show small clips of all of what I just discussed right now into one presentation. So it's one interaction on YouTube that represents all of that 6-month journey in a more meaningful way. However, on Instagram, it doesn't allow you to do that.
It does not. It really does not. Whereas on Facebook, you have a lot of communities which they often help
Yep.
with achieving your targets.
Yep, you'll have an entire group
on
where people would have
Instagram-
been sharing pictures, photos, videos of what they've been through and what they're currently doing, and how much blood, sweat, and tears are coming out along their journeys.
Also, I also think that there are some people who are actually doing that on Instagram. Joko, like always, he
absolutely.
wakes up. He shows his watch. Mashallah, now you're doing it as well. It's not a show off thing. It is.
It's
Uh,
meant to
it's
be
a
an inspiration. It's meant to be an
responsibility.
inspiration because that's how we took it from
It's
Jocko.
meant to be.
And
Exactly.
that's what we're doing. I mean,
And-
putting it up on our stories is not just like, hey, I'm waking up at 5 a.m. No, it's if I can do it, you can also do it.
Exactly. And number A, it's difficult, and number B, it's a sense of responsibility. It's sense of responsibility, as in that you have to do something for yourself,
It's ownership.
and also you want to inspire others. If you fail yourself, how are you gonna end up inspiring others?
No,
So,
failure
they're-
is not really a bad thing. Failure is good.
It's not a bad thing. Exactly. But I'm just saying that you show up every day and you show a picture of the watch. Okay. It takes a lot of guts. Right? It takes a lot of guts, and it shows the journey.
It shows
like
the
if you're
journey.
failing, that shows that
We're all human. We all
Exactly.
fall.
we're all human.
We're not superhuman. We're just like everybody else. There are some days where I can't wake up at 5 a.m. I'm waking up at 7 or 8 or even 9 because I'm exhausted. I mean,
Exactly.
it happens. So I can't make it every day. But
Like-
on the days that I do, I do.
Very true. Similarly, Gary Vee, if you follow Gary Vee, there are a number of times when he show the stories of him going to those, what do you call it? Garage sales? Yeah, garage sales. He goes to garage sales, and he basically what he does is he try to find those gems which people are selling for like $1, $2. I remember, I clearly remember there was one booklet. Somebody was selling it with a lot of pins in it. There were some Olympic pins, sports pins, or something like that. A lot of pins. So I think he bought it for $10 or $15. It was a full like book or catalog size. And when he went on the internet, he found that on each pin they can be sold for like $5 or $10 or something like that. Now, see, he doesn't need money. I'm sure he's making a lot of money. Take care. But the thing is, he's showing that if he can do that, you guys can do that. Okay, as well. Now I know in his comments there is a lot of people who have commented that okay, we followed you, we went to the garage sale, we found something, and we sold it on eBay, and we flipped a lot of money. Like there was someone in his video as well. I think they flipped around 20,000 30,000 in few months.
MashaAllah.
So dollars I'm talking about, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It inspire you. Do things that inspire you. You don't have to do stupidity to inspire people to do stupid things.
Again, it ties back to the whole concept of self-improvement that we keep harping on about. But yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, like we say,
Like you said, it's a
it's
lifestyle.
a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. Now, why don't you talk about the algorithm? Because we haven't talked about the algorithm. So
Yeah, the
why don't you talk
algorithm
about the algorithm?
is it's a little funny. I mean, compared to the other social media algorithms that we've discussed or we generally see, TikTok's was obviously unique in terms of it being how we say created by an
Forceful.
artificial intelligence company. Forceful, exactly. I mean, less interactive and more pushy, let's say. So your algorithm for Instagram is kind of weird in the sense that it sort of promotes the whole inadequacy slash lack of self-esteem, low self-esteem, or envious aspect of Instagram. It actively sort of works towards promoting that kind of mindset, because what the algorithm does for some content creators is that say you follow someone on Instagram, so you start getting their latest posts and everything in your feed. However, what the algorithm also does is that based on your engagement, quote unquote engagement, with this person's posts, if you start liking a lot of their pictures and stuff, the algorithm starts pulling out older posts by this same person, like from 5 months ago or from even a couple of years ago, that were doing really well. I mean, in its cumulative output, I mean, there were a hell lot more likes or a hell lot more engagement compared to more recent posts. So it'll go as far back as a couple of years to pull those posts out and start displaying them on your feed. Like it could be a picture of something that some guy did or took or ate or whatever 2 years ago. But since it was so popular, the algorithm will start displaying that as though it is something new. I mean, of course, it'll have that small timestamp over there from 2 years ago or from 1 year ago or whatever.
But I doubt anybody will look for
Exactly,
that
with the
timestamp.
speed that people are going through the feed, they're hardly going to even notice. And despite the fact that maybe the creator has started to focus more on less showy things and less fake things, the algorithm somehow decides it's a good idea to promote those things that were more fake than the guy is doing today or the girl is doing today.
Right, I understand you.
So
I got
that
you.
sort
I got
of
you.
really actively plugs the whole I'm not good enough mindset. I mean, sure, the guy must have done it like a couple of years ago, but Instagram is here showing it to you because, hey, you like seeing stuff from this guy, right? So here's this post that was really popular a couple of years ago. Maybe you're interested in it. Hey, I didn't ask
Yeah.
you. I didn't ask you, but here you are pushing it in my face.
Here you are.
So what's the
And
deal
I
with
think it is very dangerous, because there are a lot of people that there are a lot of celebrities. They talk about, like, they talk about we are क्या कह सकते हैं उसको, we support natural, ठीक है, we support the natural look or the way you are born, ठीक है, you don't have to be going under under the blade to have all those
Procedures
perfections,
and-
ठीक है. Now, exactly. Now let's say that of somebody who was into procedures, but later on they decided that, okay, this is all bull crap and this is wrong and this is ethically wrong, and they decided to go back to their natural ways, and they says that, and they are one of those who support the natural cause, natural way. Now, what if they are being mistaken by someone
misled?
who
you mean?
support the exactly misled, कि नहीं भाई ये तो मतलब इन्होंने यहाँ पे इन्होंने अपना मतलब नाक ठीक करवाया हुआ है, यहाँ पे इन्होंने बाल लगवाए हुए हैं, यहाँ पे इन्होंने कान कुछ करवाया हुआ है, यू नो. तो दैट्स अ वेरी डेंजरस थिंग एज वेल,
Absolutely,
from
absolutely.
both perspective, the one who consume and also the content creator, you know.
Hmm. Speaking of
So I
content
think
creators, this
it's a
also creates
very
something of a competition between content creators. Like, uh, if the algorithm works in this way, it pushes content creators to keep flooding their accounts or their followers, let's say, keep flooding their followers with a continuous stream of content. Otherwise, you'll be pushed down. This is something you'd find on Twitch, for example, like the gaming streaming platform out there. That's also run by the amount of views and how many people have subscribed to you and how many people are currently watching and so on. So your popularity is ranked by that way. Okay. So basically, we have Twitch as a platform where you have a similar concept of streamers or content creators that are going to get likes, not likes, what do you call it? Their popularity depends mainly on the number of viewers or watchers at the current moment and the number of subscribers that they have. So the way Instagram is going is very similar in its structure, because there was I remember this distinctly because there was this one streamer on Twitch. I remember he was really popular. He was in I think among the top 100, and he fell ill once, and he couldn't stream for about 3 or 4 days. So when he came back, half of his viewership had disappeared, which
Wow.
then plummeted his rankings in from the top 100 to God knows where. But the point is that it's a do or die situation. I mean, as a content creator, if you're not creating, if you're not plugging,
You're
you're dead.
dead.
You're dead in the water. I mean, you'll get left behind. That's just how the algorithm works. It's gonna force you as a creator to plug your content as quickly, as often, and as in numerous quantity.
You're right. You're very, very right on that.
So yeah, those are my thoughts on how the algorithm's structured for this.
Exactly, like, I remember some YouTubers talking about that, their family members, they passed away and they have to upload the video.
Oh,
Like,
that's
yeah,
harsh.
that's harsh, that's sad, that's like too many emotions in like in one statement.
Yeah.
I mean, we think that this social media, this is a glamour life, and you get free hotels, free car rides, free food. But behind that, there is a lot of sacrifice. You sacrifice a lot of things.
Sacrifice a lot.
You know.
It's like any other job, to be honest, any other full-time job.
Exactly. It is a full time job. Like if you talk about like social media, if you religiously do social media, you have to find hashtags, you have to edit it, you have to post it, and then you have to engage with people to maintain.
Yep.
It's difficult. It's a full time job. I remember when I used to make the video on YouTube. Okay, I used to prepare the YouTube. Then I used to make a small clip showing this will be what I will be showing you on YouTube. Then I used to put it on Instagram. Then there was on small video clip on TikTok as well, and then on Instagram. So it used to take fair amount of time, and that is something people don't see often.
Because they're getting the
Very
end
often.
product, right? So they're just
They are getting the end product. They are getting the end product. Exactly.
sad,
Yeah.
sad, really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I guess,
I think that's all I have for today on Insta.
yeah, exactly.
We've covered a fair amount
Yeah.
of what should or should not be, um, or what is wrong and what is right with Instagram, and yeah, the impact on society of social media in general is a heavy one. It's not insignificant, and I just
Indeed.
hope that the more we talk about it, the more like-minded people we gather in one place, and the more it will spread, the more the awareness will spread, the more understanding will spread, and maybe just maybe we'll be able to help someone out, who's
Inshallah.
inshallah,
Hopefully.
inshallah,
Hopefully.
because
Inshallah.
this is what we can do right now, given the way
Yeah.
we're being steamrollered by all of the negative things on social media, and the overwhelming machine that the social media infrastructure is. All we can do is play our little parts and hope for the best.
Inshallah. Inshallah. So that's it for today, I guess.
Yep. Thank you all for
So
staying with us through all of it, as we're talking. I don't know. Sometimes I keep wondering if we're just talking out of our asses or we actually know what we're talking about. But yeah, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for spending time, and we'll see you in the next one, I guess. Till then,
inshallah. Thank you very
thank
much.
you and Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you very much. Take care.